Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat for the stand. And for the record, say and spell your first and last name, please.
Donte Hardee, Dontaehardy.
Thank you. Sir, can you tell us how it is that you're employed, please, if we didn't know already from your uniform?
With the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
And where are you assigned?
To this building, CCB.
Okay. What does that mean?
That I'm a deputy sheriff inside of the criminal courthouse, the Clara Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center.
This building.
Yes.
And what are your duties here as a assignment to the courthouse?
I'm assigned to PM shift lockup, which is from 12 p.m. to 2000 hours, which is 8 p.m. And we oversee the care for the inmates.
Okay. So you're responsible for the security in the courthouse.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to ask you, how many years have you been so employed by the Sheriff's Department?
17 years.
Back in 2018, June of 2018, were you working also in this building
Yes.
in the same capacity that you are now?
Yes.
Okay. And on the date of Thursday, June 28th of 2018, were you responsible at approximately 8 a.m. for escorting an inmate to the satellite cell on the 9th floor?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the individual's name?
His name was inmate Baker.
Okay. Showing you what's been previously marked as People's 14. Do you recognize this individual here?
Yes.
And is this the inmate that you are talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a standard procedure that's followed with respect to any property that the inmates bring out with them from their respective custodial facilities run by the sheriff to the court?
Yes.
And what is that?
We search out their property and their person
Why do you do that?
for the safety of ourselves and the safety of the other personnel and the inmates that are in the lockup.
Okay. And did you find anything when you searched the inmate Robert Baker on June 28th of 2018?
Yes.
And can you describe what that was, please?
It was a manila. It was a manila folder and a clear toothpaste container.
Inside the manila folder, what, if anything, did you find?
He had various papers in there, and also I don't recall
Okay.
everything.
All right. Your Honor, I have 3 photographs relating to this evidence, all dated June 28th of 2018. Lower left-hand corner has the numbers 1 through 3 respectively. May they be marked, please, collectively as People's 228?
Yes.
Thank you. Showing you what's been now marked is People's 28. There's a 228 and there's a 1 in the lower left corner. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
And what is this?
This is one of the documents that was inside of the manila folder.
And in this same picture, do we also see the toothpaste tube as well as some handwritten documents?
Yes.
Bless you. Showing you People's 228, there's a 2 in the lower left corner. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
And again, is this a close-up of the documents and this hand-drawn,
Yes.
I don't even know what to call it, piece of paper, and then the edge of the toothpaste tube to the right?
Yes.
Showing you People's 228, there's a 3 in the lower left corner. Does this appear to be the toothpaste tube that you recovered,
Yes.
along with the documents as we've described?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Once you recovered these items from Robert Baker's possession, what did you do with them?
I brought them out into the courtroom to Sergeant Westall.
Who's Sergeant Westall?
At that time, he was my supervisor.
Okay. And at that point, did you provide all of those items to the lieutenant?
I provided them to Sergeant Westall. Yes.
Okay. And there is an envelope there in front of you that was marked yesterday as People's 227. Can you open that exterior envelope and remove what's inside and tell us if you recognize it, please?
Yes.
And how is it that you recognize People's 227?
This was the manila folder that I recovered from inmate Baker.
And is there some writing on the exterior of that
Yes.
envelope?
Yes.
And does it have information on the exterior of the envelope that you recognize?
Yes.
And what is that?
This is our earn number.
Your what number?
This is our department's earn number. So this is how we
URN number?
Yes, ma'am.
What's a URN number, an earn number?
It's how we track our reports and our evidence.
Okay. So is that a unique number that would track the evidence in a particular case?
Yes.
Okay. And is that URN number 9-18-00363-4016-184?
It's 918-00363. Yes.
Okay. And if you could go ahead, do you need gloves?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You could open that envelope once you got your gloves on and describe what you find inside.
There is an evidence property bag. There's white line paper with writing on it. There's a drawing and a picture of Deadpool. There's
Like
more.
a cutout picture?
Yes. There's more drawings of a female and a male, and a character with a tail.
And then how many, other than the drawings, looks like there's also a drawing on the back side.
Yes.
What is that?
It appears to be a penis.
And approximately, or if you could count for us, how many pages of paper, it looks like writing, handwriting on, in pencil on both front and back?
Approximately 50.
In addition to the two-sided paper with the drawings?
Yes.
And the evidence, the plastic evidence bag, does that appear now to be empty?
There's a card inside.
A card. Is that also part of all of these papers that you turned over to your lieutenant?
No. I'm not sure what this is.
Is that a receipt for the toothpaste tube?
Yes.
Okay. And if that contained biological evidence, would that normally be sent, removed from the envelope and sent to your sheriff's crime lab?
Yes.
And are you also familiar with the type of paper that we see here in this 50-plus pages from the Sheriff's Department as some paper that is normally distributed
Yes.
through the canteen?
Yes.
Showing you the front. Where there appears to be a picture that's been cut out and some writing.
Yes.
Okay. And what does it say here?
Bigger, longer, and uncut. Just like my man. I'm grinning?
Grinning. And then some word M-U-A-H
Yes.
with a drawing of a woman's
Lips.
lips and colored in with a red pencil, it looks like. Yes?
Yes.
And on the back, the cutout picture, you said this is Deadpool.
Yes.
And then some more writing here on the back side.
Yes.
And then the two-page front and back drawing that we talked about. Yes?
Yes.
And the back side.
Yes.
I saw a drawing in here, I was just going to pull it out. Also on one of the pages, the handwritten pages, there appears to be some kind of a drawing at the bottom.
Yes.
I'm going to return all of these to you for replacement into the sheriff's envelope.
Cross.
Thank you, Your Honor. No questions.
Thank you, Deputy Hardee, for your speech. You may call the next witness.
Call Leslie Thompson.
Please face me and raise your right
We're not
hand.
on a session yet. She left. She stepped out.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Thank you. Please have a seat in the witness stand. And for the record, say and spell your first and last name, please.
My name is Leslie Thompson, LeslieThompson.
Thank you.
Proceed, please.
Ma'am, can you tell us how it is that you're employed, please?
Yes, I'm employed as a senior criminalist for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and I am assigned to their crime laboratory.
And where are you assigned?
To the crime laboratory, which is a part of our Scientific Services Bureau.
I mean, what section?
Oh, excuse me, the
Sorry.
forensic biology section.
What is that the section in the Sheriff's Crime Lab that handles DNA evidence?
That's correct. We
Okay.
handle evidence examination, DNA analysis, and we also make up our crime scene investigation unit.
Okay. And how many years have you been there?
I've been with the Sheriff's Department, it was 16 years last November, and previous to that, I was with the California Department of Justice for approximately 4 years at their Richmond DNA laboratory and their Riverside Crime Laboratory.
Tell us a little bit about your education and training, if you would, that qualifies you for your position as a senior criminalist assigned to the DNA section.
Sure. I have my degree from the University of California at Berkeley in molecular and cellular biology, which is basically biological chemistry. I also, within the Sheriff's Department, completed a 1.5-year-long training program for forensic biology, which consisted of lectures given by senior staff members. I attended courses given by the California Criminalistics Institute. Some of the course titles were DNA extraction and quantitation, STR and DNA analysis, and population genetics and statistics in DNA analysis, to mention a few. My training also included approximately 40 data analysis sets, 20 laboratory experiments, 6 laboratory examinations, 4 written examinations, and 4 oral examinations.
And do you now also teach others in various areas relating to DNA analysis and serology or biology?
Yes, I do.
And approximately how many samples would you say you've processed using various DNA typing techniques over the years? It's a tough question to answer.
I would say I process somewhere close to about 100 cases a year in terms of DNA with the Sheriff's Department. Each case can vary on the amount of samples, from 1 sample to 40, just depending on what that case needs. So, you know, in the tens of thousands.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you also qualified and testified before as an expert with respect to DNA analysis and the results?
Yes, I have.
Now, is the Sheriff's Crime Lab accredited?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Are you accredited similarly as the LAPD
Yes,
section?
I believe so.
And do you and the LAPD Crime Lab share space in a building that's located on a particular campus?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And is that at Cal State LA?
It is.
And does the accreditation process require that your lab is audited on a regular basis?
Yes, we are audited every year, not always by our accrediting body. Some years it's by the FBI for their quality assurance standards. Some years it's an internal audit from our quality assurance section. And I believe it's every 4 or 5 years, we are re-accredited through our accrediting body, which is ANAB. And
What does that stand for?
stands for the American National Standards Institute National Accreditation Board.
And does that accreditation also require that you undergo, along with all of the other analysts in the DNA section, proficiency testing?
Yes, it does.
And what does that entail?
A proficiency test is basically a blind test that mimics casework, and it's created by an outside company. And they send one for each of our DNA analysts or screeners. For DNA analysts, it's every 6 months. And we process that case just like we would an actual case. And then we submit the results to that agency. And it's that agency who checks our results, checks our processes, and ensures that we got the appropriate answers.
Are there also, pursuant to your accreditation, quality assurance measures and controls that are in place within the lab and also specifically within the DNA section?
For our accreditation, but also our laboratory tends to go a little bit above and beyond as well. So there are many quality assurance measures. I could go through some if you would like.
A few.
Sure. So within the laboratory space, we use disposable items to look at the evidence. So a scalpel that you would use one time and then throw away, so as not to contaminate from the scalpel tip. We use sterile swabs. Between each item of evidence, we bleach down our entire area, put up butcher paper. We wear a lab coat, mask, and gloves, and we change those gloves regularly. We examine forensic unknowns or evidence items in a separate space and a separate time from examining reference samples. And a reference sample is a sample from a known individual who may be involved or related to the case. So those are examined completely separately and processed separately to avoid even the sort of possibility of some sort of cross-contamination.
And does your lab also have, just as the LAPD side of the lab has, a computer program that automatically checks for cross-contamination by analysts, that includes analysts' DNA samples within the program?
Yes, we do. And we also have an additional program that checks not just our lab personnel to the sample, but samples to samples to ensure that, everything worked appropriately, there was no contamination, and these results are accurate and acceptable and reliable, and we can report them.
And is there also a peer review process in place?
Yes, there is.
So
with-
all of your work gets reviewed by a supervisor, the raw data that comes off the instrumentation?
Yes, it does. It actually gets reviewed twice. It gets reviewed by an analyst of equivalent training. So since I'm trained in DNA, it would be an analyst who is also trained in DNA to ensure that we followed our quality assurance written down standard operating procedures, that we performed all the lab work as expected, that we recorded everything, that we were transparent, and that they agree with our results.
Okay.
And then once that review is complete, then the entire file again is reviewed by the supervisor.
And since we've already heard about the basics of what DNA is, I want to ask you about the case specifics regarding laboratory case number under your sheriff's case number 18-036596.
May I refer to my notes, Your Honor? Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
And does that pertain to some evidence that was delivered to the lab under LASD URN number 9-18363-4016-184?
Yes, that's correct.
And what was the evidence sample that was sent to you for analysis?
I received a toothpaste tube containing an off-white substance.
Is that what we see here on the overhead projector in People's Exhibit 228?
That looks very much like the toothpaste tube I received. However, that's not the photo I took
Yes.
of my evidence item.
Your Honor, I have an additional laboratory photo of what's in 228 along with some results. If they could be added to People's 228, 2 additional pages, and in the lower left corner, there's a 1 and a 2 respectively.
Very good.
Thank you. Showing you what's been marked now as People's 228 with a 1 in the lower left corner. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yes, I do.
And what is this?
This is my photograph of the toothpaste tube that I received as item 2 for this case.
Okay. And is it your pattern that you will photograph the evidence as part of your case package as we see here?
It is.
Okay.
Some items I might not, but in if it's not sort of something you would come across in your normal daily life, I will photograph it and possibly sketch it.
Okay. And with respect to